For the inspection of the front wheel well, you're going to have to talk about the steering, the suspension, and the braking components. Some of the components you can see, some of them you cannot. To start with the steering wheel is connected to the steering shaft, the gearbox, the hydraulic fluid reservoir, the power steering cylinder, and the pitman arm. None of those components you can see. If I could see them, I would inspect to make sure they are properly connected, there's no cracked or missing pieces, and that there are no leaks. That brings me to what I can see, which is the drag link, the steering knuckle, and the spindle. Make sure they're all properly connected, not cracked or broken, and there are no missing bolts. I cannot see the tie rod and the steering arm, but I would make sure they are properly connected, not cracked or broken, and no missing bolts. That's going to lead us to the ABS system up top. We're going to make sure all the hoses are properly connected, they're in good condition, there are no leaks, and the system is secure to the bus. The upper bellows support, the bellows seat, and the lower bellows support, we're going to make sure they're all properly connected, not damaged, and that there are no leaks. The torque rod, properly connected, not cracked or broken, no missing bolts. The frame is behind, making sure it's not cracked or broken, no illegal welds, as well as the axle and the axle seat. Make sure they are properly connected, no missing bolts, not cracked or broken, and no illegal welds. For the brakes, you have the brake chamber, the push rod, and the slack adjuster. The brake chamber should be free of any dents and damage and should not be leaking. Make sure there are no missing bolts, that the push rod is properly connected, no missing cotter pins, and that the slack adjuster has no more than 1 inch of play. The adjusting nut is present, secure, and not broken. Come around to the front of the tire. You look through the holes at the brake drum. Make sure that it is not cracked or broken. There are no holes, and there's no oil or grease. You cannot see the S-cam, the cam roller, the return spring. You'd make sure they are properly connected and they are not cracked or broken. You would inspect the brake shoes and the brake shoe linings to make sure they are not excessively worn.